Hey, welcome to the channel. We got a lot going on today on our new videos. So excited, to just help people out. There's a lot of new beekeepers coming on board. Did you know that the state of Florida have over 5,000 beekeepers that manage over 650,000 hives? Wow. If I could only help one beekeeper out of that number, that would make my day. So I'm here for you, new beekeepers coming on board. Welcome to my channel. My name is Richard, and I just use Rich for short. My apiary, my baby. So today was a wet one in Florida. Didn't get to do much. So I say, hey, you know what? Let me make some videos for the newbies coming on board. So I had a question that I would like to share with you. And one question was, can you take queen cells, if you find them in your hive, to make a new queen? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. You can take that queen cell and make a split. You can take that queen cell and raise the queen in a nucleus box, and then you can replace your old queen. So there's many things that you can do with that queen. That's why a lot of people actually, that's why some beekeepers use double body hives versus the single body hives. Because you can take the top body of that hives and make splits. You'll have so much brood in there. You can divide that top one up and you might be able to make two splits out of it. Take a couple of queen cells and put them in those splits. But you want to make sure you have a thriving hive, a strong hive. You don't want to make two weak hives. So the answer to that is absolutely yes. So the next question was, I put up a test question on one of my videos. What happened was I did a mite test and I forgot to put the bees back in the box and I closed it up. So the question was asked, will those bees find their way back to the hive? So the answer is yes and no. It depends how close they are to the hive. If they're far out from the hive, the answer is no. They won't find their way back to the hive because those are the nurse bees that stay on the frames and they feed the queen, take care of the larvae, the pupa. They feed it royal jelly to the queen when they're creating a queen cell. So that's their job, and they haven't been out foraging yet. But when they finish that job, they'll go out and they'll start to forage. So what they'll do is they'll go in front of the house and they'll do orientation. You'll see them doing these little figure eights. They'll stand in front of the hives and they'll do these little figure eights, and then they'll break out, go up in the air. And if you watch them in the air, they'll do like this. They'll do that, and then they'll come back that away, and then they'll go back that away. And what they're doing, they're lining themselves up with the sun and actually marking the front of the hives so they know how to get back home. So those nurse bees, if they're close enough and they can fly up in the air, they might grasp the pheromones that the hive produce and they'll find their way back into the hive. And absolutely, the nurse bees can get into any hive. I've taken a group of nurse bees because I broke a hive down that wasn't performing. And so I took all the nurse bees, put them next to another hive, took a 12-inch piece of stick, and they just walked right across and went right into the other hive. And my mouth just dropped. That's why I say you have to learn your bees. You have to experiment with your bees and see what they do and what they won't do, and stop listening to everything you hear on YouTube. Some of it is true and some of it is nonsense. But you have to learn your bees, new beaks. And one of the hardest things is failure. If we didn't have failure and we did everything perfectly, there would be nothing to do. Failures is one of the things that propels us to be great. You know, you will have a hive that you lose. You'll have a hive that die. I have a hive that absconded on me, and I could not tell you why. I got a new queen for her. I ordered, cost me $78. Put her in the hive with the bees, went out the next morning, they were gone. It broke my heart. But I didn't give up. I didn't give up. So those are the trials that you will go through, you know, but hey, it's not the end of the world. There's always more bees. There's free bees. There's swarms. You can call me. Sometimes I have free bees that I can give you. You know, I have so much stuff. I have a Colorado bee vacuum that I can help you grab a swarm with. I'm here for you. I'm located in West Palm Beach in Florida. I hope you're in the Florida area. And let me tell you something about the Florida area. Beekeeping is year round. We don't get a day off. You see, when September comes, the guys up north start packing it up, doing mite tests, getting the winter bees ready for the winter. Not us. We're on it all the time. But anyway, I got a new item I want to share with you. I told you I had a new toy. And I've been storing up some comb in my freezer that I got from a cutout that I did, or removal. And what that is a group of bees inside someone's house or cavity. And they called me, say, hey, Rich, can you get these bees out for me? And I'll decide, yeah, no, if I want to take it on. So I took one on. I got some bees out, got a lot. They had a lot of honey. I gave the homeowner some. I kept a few combs for me, but I didn't have a comb crusher. So what I got to share with you today is a comb crusher. Yes, let me get it over closely so you can see, and it's nice and heavy. I was impressed with this. So what happened is, this is my crank. This cranks down and push the plate down to press the honey. So I'll give you a little demonstration, and here's the plate. And this is the plate right here that goes in here, and it presses the honey and crush it when you turn that crank on top of it right down in that hole there. And look how thick that is. That's really thick. It's not something flimsy that you can bend. So I was impressed with it. Being that it comes from China, I got it off of Temu for $59. And it's real heavy and sturdy. So here it is. When that plate goes down and it crushes the comb in here, everything runs down the side here and out to the spout and goes right into your strainer. And there's one over here on this side. It comes down that channel, out into the strainer, which is on top of your honey bucket. The only thing is it sits flat, so you might have to give it a little tilt to get the honey draining. But I love it. The only thing that I wasn't happy with about it is that it has some sharp edges. Yeah, these edges are really sharp. Even right here, if you rub your hand on here, you can get a cut. And ask me how I know. Take a look. See that? Yeah, it got me right there. So that's how I found out. Other than that, I love this for the price. It's durable. The spot welding is really good. And that's the bottom. And so far, I used it one time. So we'll see how many times it go. Nice and sturdy. Got a handle. Now, this plate goes in here, down here. And then you got the crank right here. And this crank goes in right here. These little spots right there, and then it goes in like that. Then you line it up in that hole. Let me get it in that hole there. All right. Okay, so we're over the hole, and then you crank it down, and once you crank it down, it presses the honey. If you look, the top is coming up, so now I can basically pick it up from the crank. So these two bars here hold this long bar up. As you wind, they go up against here, and then that screw presses that plate, and that plate squeezes the comb, and then it squeezes the honey out of the comb. So that's my newest toy. I told you I had something to share with you. So that's my newest toy that I got. I have an extractor, but the only thing with the comb crusher is if you're going to crush comb, you're going to make the bees do a lot of work. Because when you crush that comb, that's it. The bees have to make that comb over, and it takes 6 pounds of nectar to make 1 pound of wax. So it's much better to use the honey extractor, because what happens, you just take the wax cappings off the top, you spin the honey out, and the comb is still attached to the foundation. You put it back on the hive, and the bees rebuild those little cells. They'll just touch them up a bit. They get a little bit damaged when you're cutting the wax off, but the bees fix that. So I would take the extractor over the crusher, but every now and then you get comb honey, and the only way to do it is you would have to sit there and squeeze it as tight as you can with your hand over the strainer. And so what I got here, this weighs about, maybe 10 pounds. Look what I got, about 10 pounds of honey from my comb. So I'm letting it sit over, and out of that nice little honey gate right there, when I pop that open, oh yeah, we're going to have some honey. And it's from a different area. It's not from my area, but hey, there is no honey like the honey in my area. Trust me. I've tasted some beekeepers' honey, and I'm like, I don't want to brag, but it can't compare to my honey. I don't know what trees are in this area, but my honey, everybody goes crazy over it. So anyway, fellow beekeepers, thank you for joining me. Thank you for coming to my show. I'm here for you. If you have any comments, any questions, feel free to leave a comment or ask a question, and I'll answer it for you. If I don't know the answer, I'll get the answer and I'll get back to you. So you take care, and as I always say, peace, love, joy, and happiness.